Early this morning, I published a little piece on using a single sifter to make a staccato shot. This is based on the idea that when you sift, the finer particles come out first. So you could use a sifter, a coarser sifter, and end up with 3 layers. So this test was done with 500 microns, and then I did another one that was 600, using 600 micron screen. It's kind of fun. I went to my usual Robusta shot in the morning. I've been trying to tweak the profile and the paper filter, and I went back to the drawing board to kind of think of what I could do differently. So this one I put a little bit less coffee in. I was trying to look at the headspace, because one of the issues is when water's coming out of the shower screen, it will have a surface tension. So it tends to clump up, and this can lead to problems, which I think is essentially what's going on in my explorations into the shower screen. But this shot was great. This nice extraction, like 18% and 14% TDS. So there's some side channeling and some areas it could have improved on, but then I pulled another shot for my wife to make a oat milk eggnog latte. And this shot pulled really nice. I did a little bit less as well. It still pulls to the left. So, I guess part of the frustration is I know where the problem is. I'm just uncertain on exactly how to fix it. So I've mitigated it quite a bit using the paper filter on top, but it's still, there's something missing. And then I pulled my normal staccato tamp shot with paper filter. I'm trying to balance making the profile get flow faster versus having some channeling or getting the right extraction. One of the issues I've been having is if I end up with a pause in the middle of the profile, it makes this side channeling to the left a little worse. So this one channeled in the center at the top, but at the bottom, this crescent moon again as it pulling to the left. I did a little bit of roast at lunchtime with coffee beans from the Cup of Excellence for Colombia. They were leftover beans from Avera sampling at Chromatic, and they smell and look great, so hopefully they taste great. Talking with Tom Vu on the Home Espresso Aficionados channel on Facebook, he was talking to me about a technique that it's like nuntating a coffee puck, which is where you roll the tamper around the sides to get a denser puck. But the problem is it's has some consistency problems. So he was using a OCD tool. So I used my cheap knockoff one, and he's spinning it the opposite direction, so it's pushing the grounds rather than trying to flatten them. And the intention is to push out as much air as possible. And he found that if he goes a little coarser on the grind and then does this, the flow comes out better. And for him, it starts in the center, which is probably because he's using a rocket, and that's how the shower screen is coming out. And then it goes to the side, but he doesn't have some of the tooling in terms of refractometers. So we were chatting about it, and he asked if I was interested in trying it out. And so I figured, sure, why not? I usually do not tamp this hard. I tamp very light. My aim is to be more level than tamp hard. So I gave it a go. And this was my normal grind for this bean is on a 5 on the niche. This grind was on a 15. It was a little coarse. But what was interesting is the shot timings were about the same as before, and but the extraction yield was lower. So I went a little finer and tried it again, but This came out really clean, especially the puck afterwards. Like, so there's clearly some channeling to the side, but the puck afterwards didn't have any spots. And in the middle of this, I messed around with trying to do tamped on squid with a back massager and a basket and a tamper to see how that technique would work, because that's basically what Teddy's doing. Tamped on squid uses vibration plus the tamper on top to redistribute the grounds. So I just wanted to see how this would work on my own, and I asked him if I just if I put a tamper in and use some kind of vibration tool, would it work? And he said, try it. So I tried it. Anyways, that was on spec grounds. I went back to this deep nutating technique, and I went to a grind setting of 10. So it's still a higher, coarser grind than typical, but the shot came out almost like it normally does for a regular grind and a regular tamp. But again, you have this hard channel to the left. So based on how it channeled, I think it should have had a higher extraction yield. But this is what's amazing, is the bottom of the puck, you don't see any of that. So it's kind of interesting. Still frustrated by the shower screen. I put on the old shower screen onto the S-Works diffuser to see what would happen. Of course, water shoots out the sides. But it inspired me to try something else, because there's a space between the shower screen and the diffuser. And so my concern is that when water's coming out, it's group bunching up together. So I put a paper filter inside of there to see what I would get as I ran water through it. It seemed to come out more even. This is just the rinse cycle. The problem here is you still have these two streams. See, it's pulling together. And I think this is one of the design challenges of the shower screen, is you need the water to spread out, and water, especially at low flows, does not want to do that. But it is at low flows that you can really do some amazing things when it distributes right. So this is my actual profile. So it's kind of steaming out, but this is better than it normally is. But again, it's pulling together at the center, which was kind of challenging. So it seems to pull on the left. So I pulled a shot with this. The paper in between the shower screen and the diffuser didn't really get dirty, but the puck pulled the same as it would if I just had the paper on top, which is again frustrating. And I feel like there's a better solution out there that's not necessarily the metal mesh that a lot of people have been using, that I've used quite a bit as well. So we'll see what I find.